There was a time in my life when I felt completely stuck. I'd wake up tired, go to work, come home drained, eat whatever, scroll on my phone, then go to bed, only to do it all over again the next day. It wasn't a bad life, but it wasn't my life. Deep down, something felt missing. I couldn't explain it, but I knew I was meant for more. I just didn't know how to get there. I thought I needed luck. I thought I needed the right opportunity. I thought I needed someone to give me a chance. But none of that came. And then one day, while listening to a random video online, I heard a voice. Calm, wise, old school. And he said something I'll never forget. You become what you think about. I paused, rewound, played it again. You become what you think about. It hit me like a punch to the chest, because at that time, all I ever thought about was what I didn't have. I thought about my bills. I thought about my problems. I thought about how far behind I was, how much I'd failed, how little hope I had. And suddenly it made sense. My life was just a reflection of my thoughts. I wasn't living a life. I was living a pattern, one that I had been feeding without even knowing it. You see, nobody teaches you how powerful your thoughts really are. They teach you how to pass tests, not how to shape your mind. They teach you how to survive, not how to design your life. But the moment I heard that quote, something in me shifted. It was like someone had handed me the missing key. And the crazy thing? It was so simple that most people ignore it. You become what you think about. That's it. No secret formula, no expensive course. Just one truth, hidden in plain sight. But here's the problem. Most people are thinking about the wrong things. They're thinking about fear, debt, stress, doubt, failure, and then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they can't move forward, why life feels like a loop. It's because the mind is always listening. It doesn't ask what's right or wrong. It simply creates what you feed it. It's because the mind is always listening. It doesn't ask what's right or wrong. It simply creates what you feed it. You think failure, you feel failure. You think fear, you live in fear. You think success, your brain starts building bridges to reach it. And for the first time, I realized I could change the way I think, not just to stay positive, but to choose my future. Because if thoughts become reality, then maybe, just maybe, I had more power than I ever knew. I know this might sound too simple, too easy, too good to be true, but ask yourself honestly, what have you been thinking about most of the time? Is it where you want to go, or what you're afraid of? Is it who you want to become, or what's holding you back? Because that one idea, just that one shift, completely changed my life. And I believe, with everything in me, that it can change yours too. But only if you live it, only if you practice it, only if you decide right now to take back control of your mind. This was the first step, the beginning of a new path, a new way of thinking, a new version of me. And it all started with one sentence. You become what you think about. Most people live inside a box they can't even see. It's invisible, but you can feel it. It shows up as routine, as struggle, as a quiet voice that says, this is just how life is. We grow up being told the same thing over and over again. Go to school, get good grades, find a job, work hard, retire someday, hopefully. And for a while, that script might seem fine. But here's what no one tells you. That script wasn't written for your success. It was written for your obedience. It teaches you how to follow rules, but not how to create anything. It teaches you how to stay safe, but not how to build wealth, freedom, or purpose. And the problem is, security can become a prison. I was in that prison, waking up every day to an alarm I hated, driving to a job I didn't love, working just to pay off things I didn't really need. It wasn't a bad life on the outside, but on the inside, I felt numb. I knew I was capable of more, but I didn't know how to get there. And worse, I didn't believe I could. That's the real trap. Not the job, not the bills, not the world. The real prison is in your mind. It's in the belief that you can't change, that you're stuck, that you've missed your chance. But here's the truth. Whatever we plant in our minds and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. Think about that. Your current life is a result of what you've been repeating in your mind. If you repeat fear, you stay frozen. If you repeat doubt, you shrink. If you repeat limitation, you become small. But if you start repeating a new thought, just one new idea over and over again, something powerful begins to shift. Because here's what happens when you don't. You live the same day over and over again for years, and you call it a life. But deep down, something inside you starts to fade, not all at once, but slowly. You stop dreaming, you stop believing, you stop trying, and eventually you forget who you were meant to become. But it doesn't have to be that way. Right now, you are one thought away from a different path, a new direction, a better version of you. The world around you may try to trap you in fear, in doubt, in routines that keep you small. But your mind, your thoughts, that's your way out. That's your escape. You don't need permission to dream again. You don't need a perfect plan to start. You don't even need confidence yet. All you need is a new thought and the courage to believe it. Because once your thoughts change, your habits change. And when your habits change, your life changes. I'll say it again because this is the core of everything. We become what we think about. And the world around us only has the power we allow it to have over our mind. So starting today, choose what you think. Choose what you believe. Choose who you're becoming. Because the old world wants to keep you small. But your future, it's waiting for you to think bigger. Let me ask you something. If I told you there's one secret, just one, that could change your entire life, would you believe me? Not a gimmick, not a trick, but a truth that's been hiding in plain sight, something so simple, yet so powerful, that once you understand it, nothing in your life will ever be the same. It's called the strangest secret, and Earl Nightingale shared it with the world decades ago. Most people didn't listen, but I did, and it became the turning point of my entire life. So what is this secret? It's just one sentence. We become what we think about. That's it. 6 words. We become what we think about. Now, at first, that might not sound like a secret at all. It might sound too basic, too obvious. But look closer. Really listen. Because hidden inside that one sentence is the root of every success and every failure. Think about it. If your dominant thoughts are fear, failure, and frustration, you'll start to attract more fear, failure, and frustration. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because your mind is shaping your reality. You see, your thoughts influence your emotions. Your emotions influence your actions. And your actions create your results. So if you change the thoughts, you change everything else. For most of my life, I didn't know this. I thought I was unlucky. I thought I was stuck. But the truth was, I was just focused on the wrong thoughts. Every day, I was thinking about what I didn't want. I don't want to fail. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to waste my life. And guess what? That's exactly what I got. Not because I wanted it, but because I kept feeding those thoughts over and over again. Your mind is the soil. Whatever you plant will grow. If you plant fear, you grow fear. If you plant self-doubt, you grow hesitation. But if you plant belief, clarity, purpose, then those are the things that begin to grow inside you. Let me share what Earl Nightingale said. The mind moves in the direction of our currently dominant thoughts. In other words, what you think about most of the time is what you're becoming. If you think about your goals, you'll start to notice opportunities. If you think about success, you'll start acting like someone who expects success. It's not magic. It's not fantasy. It's focus. I stopped thinking about my problems, and I started thinking about possibility. I stopped focusing on what I didn't want, and I started asking, what do I really want? Every day, I started reminding myself of who I wanted to become, even when I didn't believe it yet. And little by little, something began to shift. Not outside, but inside. I began to feel stronger, more focused, more calm, because for the first time, my mind had direction. Let me be clear. You don't have to be perfect to do this. You don't have to have money, connections, or talent. All you need is the willingness to guide your thoughts. And trust this truth. We become what we think about. Think growth. Live growth. Think progress. Create progress. Think success. Move toward success. Not overnight, but every day you think the right thought. You move one step closer to the life you truly want. So, if you've been waiting for a breakthrough, this is it. You don't need a better job, a miracle, or a fresh start. You need a better thought, because that one thought can lead to better actions, better habits, and a better life. This was the secret that changed everything for me. And if you take it seriously, if you repeat it, live it, breathe it, it will change your life too. We become what we think about. The strangest secret is now yours. Let's get one thing clear. Your mind is always working. Every second, every minute. It never stops. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't judge. It just responds to what you give it. And the most powerful thing you can ever give your mind is focused thought. Because unfocused thinking creates chaos, but focused thinking creates power. Most people don't know this. They let their mind drift all day long, worrying about bills, gossip, drama, fear, failure, and they wonder why they feel so tired, anxious, or lost. It's because their thoughts are scattered, untrained, uncontrolled. But here's the truth. Whatever you consistently focus on, you move toward. If you focus on your problems, you sink deeper into them. If you focus on what you can't do, you start believing you're powerless. But if you focus on your goal, really focus, your mind starts looking for ways to get there. It's not magic, it's mental alignment. Let me show you how it works. Have you ever bought a car and then suddenly started seeing that exact car everywhere? Or learned a new word and started hearing it in conversations? That's your brain's reticular activating system at work. It filters your environment based on what's important to you. And it does that based on your focus. So if you train your focus toward growth, you'll start seeing growth opportunities. If you train your focus toward wealth, you'll start spotting chances to build it. If you train your focus on who you want to become, your brain will start moving you in that direction. Now ask yourself, what have you been focusing on lately? Your fears, your failures, things outside your control, or have you been focusing on your dreams, your values, the future you truly want? Because your focus is your future. Let's take it deeper. Your brain can only hold one dominant thought at a time. So every time you focus on a positive vision, you're pushing out a negative one. That means every time you focus on gratitude, you're weakening fear. Every time you focus on action, you're silencing doubt. Every time you focus on what could go right, you're rewriting your reality. That's the power of focus. It's not about ignoring problems. It's about choosing what you want to create. Now listen to this quote from Earl Nightingale. Control your thoughts. Decide now what you want. Plant that goal deep in your mind. Think about it every day, and your mind will take you there. That's not philosophy. That's psychology. That's results. You want to change your life? Then change what you focus on daily. Wake up and ask, what am I creating today? Who do I want to be? What does success feel like? And hold that picture in your mind, not just once, not just when it's easy, but every day. Because focus isn't a one-time event. It's a daily decision. When I first started doing this, I didn't feel different right away, but I kept doing it. Every morning I thought about where I wanted to go. Every night I reminded myself of the person I was becoming, and slowly, my choices began to shift. My mindset grew sharper. I stopped chasing distractions. I started building momentum, all because I stopped letting my mind drift, and I started giving it direction. Let me leave you with this. You don't need a perfect life to start. You don't need motivation every day. You just need focus. Focus on one goal. Focus on one habit. Focus on one belief that supports your future, and repeat it until it becomes who you are. Because the truth is, your life will always follow your focus, so choose it wisely. Because that focus, that's where the next version of you begins. Let me tell you what really changed my life. Not reading books, not watching videos, not even learning the secret. It was applying it, living it, turning it from words into action. Because knowing something doesn't change your life. Doing something does. I had known Earl Nightingale's words for months. We become what we think about. But for a long time, I just thought about it. I didn't live it. I didn't own it. Then one day, I hit a wall, a moment where I felt stuck, burnt out, frustrated with everything. My job felt empty. My dreams felt distant. And my life felt like it was on repeat. And I finally asked myself, what am I really thinking about every day? It hit me like a lightning bolt. Every single day I was thinking, I'm tired. I hate this routine. This isn't what I wanted. Why isn't life working for me? That was my dominant thought loop, and I realized that was what I was becoming. I was tired. I was stuck. I was shrinking. Not because life forced me, but because I kept focusing on those thoughts. So I decided to test something, not for a year, not for a month, but for 7 days, 1 week. I would do one thing differently. I would control my thoughts. Just for 1 week, I would feed my mind with nothing but focus, clarity, belief, and vision. Not perfection, just intention. Here's what I did, step by step. I wrote down the life I wanted, not just vague dreams, real specific goals. What I wanted to feel, do, and become. I repeated it to myself every morning and every night, even when I didn't feel like it, even when I doubted it. I said it anyway. Every time a negative thought came up, I caught it. I didn't fight it. I replaced it. Instead of, I'm tired, I'd say, I'm rebuilding. Instead of, I'm stuck, I'd say, I'm growing. Instead of, I can't, I'd say, I'm learning. That's it. Nothing complicated, just focused repetition. And let me tell you, by day 3, I felt different. Not perfect, not invincible, but clear. Clearer than I'd felt in years. I had a direction, a voice in my mind that sounded more like me and less like fear. By day 5, I was waking up with energy, not because life changed overnight, but because my mindset did. That 1 week turned into 2. 2 turned into a month. And that became my new life. Because I wasn't just thinking positive, I was retraining my mind to expect success. Let me remind you what Earl Nightingale said. Our environment, the world in which we live and work, is a mirror of our attitudes and expectations. So when I changed my thoughts, my world responded. People treated me differently. Opportunities began to show up. I started acting like someone who believed in the future again, not because of luck, because of focus. Here's the simple truth I discovered. If you want a new life, you must first create a new mindset. You cannot build success on top of self-doubt. You cannot find peace in the middle of mental chaos. You have to get quiet, look within, and take control of the one thing that shapes everything else, your thinking. No one else can do that for you. No one else can think your thoughts. It's your mind, your life, your shift. And once you start living that truth, you stop feeling like a victim. You stop waiting for a breakthrough, and you realize you are the breakthrough. Now you know the truth. You know the secret. You've felt the shift. You understand the power of focused thought. But knowledge without action is just a dream. So let me show you exactly how to turn this into your reality. This is not theory. This is not motivation. This is your action plan. 6 simple steps that changed my life and can change yours. Let's take them one by one. Step 1, get clear on what you want. The first step is clarity. Most people don't get what they want because they never define it. They drift, they wish, they hope, but they never decide. So ask yourself right now, what do I truly want? What kind of life do I want to live? How do I want to feel every morning when I wake up? Don't worry about how yet. Just get clear on the what. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Make it real. Because a goal without clarity is just noise. Step 2, write it down every day. Not once a month, every single day. Why? Because repetition builds belief. Your mind needs to see the same message over and over until it accepts it as truth. So every morning, write your goal as if it's already real. I am healthy, focused, and living a life of purpose. I earn money doing what I love. I wake up energized, ready to grow. This is how you plant new seeds daily. You're not just writing words, you're wiring your mind for change. Step 3. Guard your thoughts like a gatekeeper. Your mind is your home. Would you let thieves walk in and trash it? Then why let negative thoughts do the same? You must become the gatekeeper of your mind. Catch yourself when thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, nothing ever works out, try to sneak in. When they come, pause, breathe, and replace them. Instead of, I can't, say, I'm learning how to. Instead of, it's too late, say, now is the best time. You don't fight thoughts, you replace them. That's how you take control. Step 4. Feed your mind every day. You are what you think about, but also what you feed your mind. Just like your body needs fuel, so does your mind. And right now, the world is feeding you noise, fear, drama, distraction, comparison. But you have a choice. So choose your diet wisely. Start your mornings with something that builds you, a chapter from a powerful book, a few lines from Earl Nightingale, a short moment of gratitude or reflection. Even 5 minutes of feeding your mind with truth can outweigh hours of negativity. Step 5. Take one aligned action per day. Don't wait until you're ready. Don't wait until it's perfect. Start where you are, with what you have. Ask yourself every morning, what's one small thing I can do today that moves me closer to who I want to become? Just one action, a message, a plan, a decision, a walk, a boundary, a choice. Because one action a day, repeated, is how you build momentum. Step 6. Repeat, adjust, and believe. Progress is not a straight line. Some days will feel amazing. Some days will feel like nothing is changing. But don't stop. This is where 99% of people quit. They say, it's not working, and give up. But the truth is, it was working. They just stopped before it showed. So keep going. Repeat, adjust, believe. Even when it's hard. Even when you don't see results yet. Even when your mind tries to go back to old patterns. Because if you stay consistent, you won't just change your life. You'll change who you are. This isn't a game. This is your life, your legacy, your moment. And you have everything you need to begin. Now it's your turn to live the secret, to apply it, to live it, to become it. We become what we think about. So think boldly, think clearly, and never stop thinking like the person you were born to be.